quickly on ecology. Making changes in reality in relation to science or any practice. Doesn't matter if it's not science, if it's spiritual, religious. Forgive my mouth's all cracked, it looks gross. Some of the ocean. But if you make a small change, and it's not something that's ethical, let's say, if you could somehow bend reality, that small change can then be like a butterfly effect. You know, like a butterfly flaps its wings one place and creates a tsunami in some other place else. You have to be careful what you're doing with creation of, I call it the ecology effect, because it's either like the ecology at the beach that says don't feed the squirrels. When you start feeding one squirrel, then you get 50 squirrels. That disrupts the natural ecosystem. Try to make a change that's too big in anything you're doing. I read this in a spiritual practice book, but it applies also to certain scientific things. Then that change can cause, if what you're trying to achieve is malicious, let's say, or overly beneficial, or not well understood, that change can actually disrupt a lot of things which don't need to be disrupted. So you can't sit there and say you're going to sit there and change, your eye color, some spiritual means, because you were born with a certain eye color, genetics dictate, da-da-da-da-da. You can use certain clothes to accentuate certain things, but other than that, you can't sit there and say you're going to change your chest or your whatever without actually putting the work in to do so. Musculature, information takes a set path, so you can't manipulate certain systems without screwing it up, basically in laws of physics. It's basically like our genetics kind of stick us with what we have, our facial features or our bodies or whatever. We can kind of do exercise that can override certain things. Like you have a genetic predisposition to certain heart issues, let's say they run in your family. You can just take care of your health, and that can kind of offset that genetic predisposition, so it might not manifest in your reality. So you can't cause huge changes. A huge influx and change within something, well, it could create, if you were doing it some malicious way, you found out that you could split an atom, and by doing that you could beam it over here, and it caused somebody's, to grow a third eye or fourth eye on their forehead or a couple eyes or something. If you're manipulating information like that, the information takes a set route. If you could somehow take some sort of information, manipulate it, so that it then could be used against someone, but previously the information was only available in a one-track mind, or one way to do it, you could potentially cause a lot of outcome for somebody that was going through a cancer therapy, and the doctor's like, no, this treatment's going to work 100% of the time, and then it doesn't work because you created the butterfly, the butterfly flaps its wings because you're screwing around with stuff you shouldn't be screwing around with. So, the butterfly flaps its wings, and that creates this chaotic effect that, the tsunami then hits California, the butterfly flaps its wings in Japan or something. You're